What's going on, guys? It's your boys, that 1 inch. So today I just wanted to kind of do an honest review video for Ashes of Creation Apocalypse with their open beta. Uh, it's just gonna be my honest feelings and a little bit of a rant. Honestly, I was super excited to play this game. I've been tracking it for over a year and a half now, and I know they announced that they were redoing their combat with the new action system, and that was really appealing to me. I was super excited until I actually got into the game. The first day they were supposed to launch at 10 p.m. Eastern on the 18th, and just kept missing deadlines because they decided to launch their what new website on the same day as a beta launch, which I just don't get. I don't know how companies haven't learned that you can't do stuff like this. It leaves a sour taste in people's mouth and already a negative opinion of the game. But I gave it another shot. I played a little bit the first day, even with all the bugs, and tried it again the second day. And honestly, the second day ran pretty smooth. The problems right now are normal beta stuff. The graphics are okay. They're not terrible. It's all pretty much carbon copy of other MMOs like a basic Elven City and stuff like that. There's nothing that really stands out because they're using the Unreal Engine, and Unreal's just not good anymore. It's outdated. It's almost 10 years old, I want to say, with Unreal 4. And I think that was a bad choice for them. And the combat definitely is lacking because of it. There's no depth to the combat. Normally, they're trying to run a stamina-based combat system, which you have to have a lock-on mode to be able to do that properly, because stamina-based combat systems are meant for dueling each other. For example, like games like For Honor, Dark Souls, the new Ashen game that was really well done. You would use a stamina system. You get a couple attacks off, you back off, and you make a decision from there. But this is, you maybe can get 3 attacks and you're just kind of standing there looking at the other person if you're using a melee weapon. And without the ability to lock on, it's very difficult to actually land hits. And then when you do land your hits, you don't you don't really see any numbers popping up. It's the numbers are really small, so you have no idea of how much actual damage you're doing to them. If they would make the numbers bigger, have it to where you can see, okay, I did this much damage to their health, this much damage to their armor. I know what weapons are viable at that point, and it's something that they really need to work on. Now, compared to other battle royale modes at the moment, this is by far probably the weakest one out there. uh, you can, anytime you click on your map, your character just stops moving, and you have to take off W and hit it again to keep moving. The flying down system is absolutely atrocious. It's god awful horrible, and hopefully they tweak it to where you can. It's a little more smooth transition. Like once you get down to a couple 100 feet and you're trying to go straight down, you just have to let go of the keyboard and just sit there for 10 to 15 seconds while your guy slowly hovers to the ground. And honestly, it's a real turnoff. As for the combat itself, graphically, some of the spells are okay, but at the same time, they can be a bit overwhelming. The darkness spell is absurd. It's You shoot this darkness arrow, and the other opponents, if they're in it, their screen goes completely black, and you don't know where you are. It's super disorienting, and you can't get out of it unless you run out of it. But you don't know how to get out of it because you're trapped in complete darkness. Like, it's worse than if you ever got flash grenaded in the other games where you can't see for a couple seconds. This is complete darkness until you get out of it. And something I think is a bit too overpowered, and they might want to look at again. Same for the Tome's meteor bombs. It's a cool effect. It does look awesome, but it can be a bit distracting and hard to deal with, because if they're jumping into the air with the boots that let you float for a second and they're just shooting bombs down, with the way they have their motion blur, it completely takes you out of the fight and you have no idea where your opponent went. And even though they're just jumping right 2 feet above you. So there's definitely some tweaks that I think they still can do. As far as the fun portion of it, I don't know if I'm having fun or not. overall. Like I sit there, I've played a bunch of games, I've gotten second place multiple times now. I had a 7 kill game, but you never know if you actually kill them or not. There's a little marker up at the top, like in every other battle royale, that shows you your kill count, but at the same time, there's nothing that pops up on your screen saying that you secured a kill. So you're always having to like run in a circle at all times trying to figure out where their body was. And just in battle royale standards, it's mediocre. The whole game is mediocre at best right now. I'm thinking scale of 1 to 10, it's 6.5, 7 at best in the current state that it's in. Obviously, this is technically an alpha for them because they did have to rechange their combat system, but the game's been in development for over a year and a half. There's a lot of issues that shouldn't be happening. There's glitches where if you look up at a 45-degree angle, hold the right click, and start meleeing, you literally fly into the air, and you can do this as long as you have stamina. And you can go 100 feet in the air with this little trick, and I don't know if the game is glitched, if that's how it's designed. If it's designed like that, it's a very poor decision on their end. There's no depth, there's no weight to your character with combat, and you're just kind of walking up to the other person and hoping that you can land a swing on them. Anytime I get into a battle, I don't feel confident that I can win that fight, that I can outsmart my opponent. And I think games are really lacking when it comes to that. Oh, like I said, overall, as it is right now, 7 at best. Hopefully they make some of the changes and we'll see how the actual MMO is. I still have hope for the game. There's definitely a lot of potential here, but they need to address some major issues with the game.